We are now learning of serious irregularities at this facility that are deeply concerning and demand a thorough investigation. The FBI and the Office of Inspector General are doing just that.
Fox News alert for you. Attorney General William Barr vowing to figure out exactly how Jeffrey Epstein was able to commit suicide while behind bars. The millionaire reportedly hanging himself using a bed sheet. So how does this happen, and will we ever get answers? Chad Jenkins is a former FBI special agent, and he joins me now. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. We appreciate it.
Hey, thanks for having me, Heather.
So as more and more information leaks out or is released on what exactly happened behind bars with Jeffrey Epstein, we're hearing more and more about these serious irregularities. What is your take in terms of what happened there? I mean, there was understaffing, one of the guards that was on duty, not even a regular, corrections officer at the time. They also weren't looking in on him as frequently as they were supposed to be. He'd been taken off suicide watch. What's your take?
Yeah, gross negligence at a minimum, but we have to look at this, and that's why Attorney General Barr has implemented the Department of Justice's Inspector General to go ahead and do a thorough investigation to see if there's any criminality, any corruption behind this. We have the most high-profile case in years that of Epstein, and to have him be able to commit suicide, it's complete failure for the victims in this case. And our justice system, the government was responsible for maintaining his security and safety, and that's a failure that needs to be completely investigated to see how this could have happened.
What about the suicide watch itself? Because a lot of people questioning that. It was just 2 weeks ago that he was put on suicide watch after some marks were reportedly found on his neck, and then he was taken off, and the guards were only supposed to check in on him every 30 minutes, which they didn't even do that.
Right, and to my point, with how high profile of a case this was and Epstein was, and given the recent history of just the last couple weeks of him trying to commit suicide, why he would have ever been taking off the suicide watch is reprehensible as well. And for him to be able to manipulate whoever he had to talk to get himself off of the suicide watch, well, you know his pattern of behavior by what the charges are against him. He should have never been off of the suicide watch in the first place.
Yeah, the other angle of this, everyone concerned, will the victims of Jeffrey Epstein get any answers? Will they actually, get anything that they've asked for at all? Here's Bill Barr talking about some co-conspirators now becoming the focus.
Let me assure you that this case will continue on against anyone who was complicit with Epstein. Any co-conspirators should not rest easy.
So what would the co-conspirators be facing moving forward?
Well, with the conspiracy charge against Epstein, so anyone who was aiding and abetting his horrendous acts will be under the microscope of the FBI and the U.S. Attorney's Office. So the investigation continues. But make no mistake, the biggest piece of evidence was lost Saturday morning when Epstein committed suicide, and that's on the government, because it was under the justice system where he should have been held to go ahead and be safely secured so that he could be brought to justice. Yeah. And that the victims could go ahead and be able to see him held accountable in our justice system.
Chad, we had some images there that the most recent part of the investigation appears to be FBI on the island, the private island that Jeffrey Epstein owned out there in the Caribbean, the Virgin Islands specifically. And I have to say, I've been by that island plenty of times over the years, and people were aware that island itself had a notorious reputation. But just now, FBI there, what do you think they're looking for?
Well, obviously they have search warrants to go ahead and further the case, further the conspiracy case against Epstein and any co-conspirators or accomplices. So right now they're doing that search warrant to try to find any evidence that further shows proof of the allegations brought against him and the others that will be under this investigation.
Yeah, add that to what was found in his condo or townhouse here in New York City. Chad, thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate your insight this morning.
Thanks, Heather.
Have a good day. Well, the time now is about 20 minutes after the top of the hour, and it was a news conference about immigration, but one reporter turned it into an attack on the Statue of Liberty.